You've probably heard of breathwork. Well, there are tons of types of breathing exercises and practices out there. And it's really important to understand which ones are for what. But depending on what your goal is, there's a breathing exercise out there for that goal. There are breathing exercises for being calm. But on the other hand, there are also breathing exercises to get you energized. There are breathing exercises that help asthma, or get you ready for a race, or get you focused, or calm for a presentation. So as you can see, there are just tons and tons of things that you can accomplish with breathwork. So in this video, we're going to break it down into 3 types on a spectrum. And hopefully this will give you a framework so that when you're considering a breathing exercise, you can understand where it falls and what it might help you accomplish. Hi, I'm Leona. I'm a certified breath coach. And today I want to share some important information with you about the types of breathing along a spectrum. So to keep it simple, we're going to talk about this side, which is hypoventilation, and this side, which is hyperventilation. So on this side is slow breathing, and sometimes even breath holds. On this side is fast and big volume type of breathing. Let's just talk about which one accomplishes what. So if you want to calm down, or if you're feeling anxious, we're gonna make this the chill, breathing slow and light side of the spectrum. If you go to the very, very extreme side of this, you might have heard of things like Buteyko method or Oxygen Advantage, breathing exercises that can actually raise your tolerance to CO2. They can also take advantage of the buildup of CO2 as you breathe less than you normally would. Take advantage of that to expand your breathing airways. So they're type of a bronchodilator. They can help you breathe easier through a stuffy nose if you do some of those exercises. So that's hypoventilation, nice and easy. It's the parasympathetic nervous system that gets activated, rest and digest on this side of the spectrum. Let's say that in the middle is where our normal breathing is. And so we'll talk about some gentle, balancing type of breathing exercises and breath practices that fit somewhere here in the middle. But before I do that, I want to talk about hyperventilation. So over here, I'm like, I'm breathing very, very deep, very big. I'm taking a lot of volume of air. On the extreme side of hyperventilation, yeah, that can activate the fight and flight. It gets you ready. So it's could be used for some sports performance type of stuff. Hyperventilation includes some breathing practices such as transformational breath and Wim Hof and other types of practices that release trauma, that can release trauma, that can be transformational, best done with a guide. So now I'm going to go here in the middle, and somewhere in the middle, depending on your normal respiratory rate, is something called coherent breath. And that is a balancing breath. It's the way we breathe when we are in a meditative state. So sometimes it can be a little bit slower than we typically breathe. Coherent breath is on average between 5 and 6 breaths per minute. It's also called harmonic breath or balancing breath. But if you look up coherent breath, you can find a lot of information about it. And I use Aria Breath music to practice that. And the more I'm consistent with it, the more benefits I see. I sleep better. My HRV improves after a couple weeks of consistent practice. But most of all, it's just enjoyable. It's music, and you breathe in as the music rises, and you breathe out as the music falls. If this is something you want to look into, I do have a discount code below in the description. Or if you'd like to join one of my sessions, then please connect with me on my website. I'll leave that in the description as well. So this is the spectrum. We have slow and light, less volume, calming, rest and digest. And then all the way over here, we have fast, big volume, taking in lots of oxygen, energizing. And then we have a lot of exercises along this spectrum. And so you can imagine, let's bring up a couple that you may have heard of. Breath of fire. Where do you think breath of fire would fit? And breath of fire is as if you were taking fast, quick breaths out. It looks like this. And you might do 20 of these repetitions. Whatever feels good with any exercises, just do what feels good. Be careful. Don't do any breathing exercises by water or while you're driving. Just be careful. But breath of fire, it's an energizing type of breath. Some people call it the coffee breath. And it's very energizing. So where do you think that fits? Yes, over here. Another breathing exercise you may have heard of is breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, holding for 4. So that slows your breath down, and there are breath holds. So where do you think that fits? Yes, over here, where we are breathing a lot slower than we normally do, and potentially with some breath holds. One more thing I wanted to mention when we talk about types of breathing. These breathing exercises, some of the ones that we talked about today, can be used in the moment. So if I feel stressed out, if I have a presentation that I need to prepare for and I need to be calm yet focused, there are certain breathing exercises that you can do in that moment. Also, there are exercises that turn into a regular practice, and those can have some amazing impacts on our health. For example, Aria Breath, which I have talked about, is the coherent breathing in the middle. Regularly practiced, this can improve your heart rate variability, or HRV. Or Buteyko, that's way over here, is a method that is used to help improve asthma. I've been practicing that, and I was able to pretty much get rid of my exercise-induced asthma with some of the Buteyko exercises and a regular practice. So in the moment, or over time as a regular practice, again, depending on what your goals are and what benefits you're looking for. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any videos. And if you have any questions, put them down in comments and I'll make sure to review that and get back to you. Or if you have a breathing exercise that you do, maybe mention it and let us know where you think it fits on this spectrum and what you're trying to achieve or what benefits you're seeing. Our breath is a wonderful tool, and it can be an empowering partner for us. However, it's so important to understand the different types and to look into how these things work. I'll share tips and some information that I hope can be helpful as you connect with your breath as an empowering partner. So in the meantime, I hope you stay rooted in the breath, be one with nature, and follow the call of adventure. See you next time.